Hey guys, welcome back. So I am doing this little video today because I got an idea when I was on Twitter the other night. I follow Jackie Ina on Twitter, and if you're not following her, y'all, you really need to because she is hilarious. But I was looking at my feed the other night and she had tweeted out asking what product, I think the question that she asked was, what product do you not purchase because either they don't have your shade or because I think you're confused about the product. And I was reading the answers because, you know, I always read answers to stuff like that because I'm curious to see what people don't buy because of, for whatever reason, they don't buy it. And surprisingly enough, I noticed a lot of black girls, and not only black girls, but like women of color in general, answer blush. A lot of them were like, they don't buy blush because they don't know what color to buy, or the blushes that they do get aren't pigmented enough for them. Just a whole host of answers. So I was looking at those answers and I was like, holy crap, I'm sitting over here hoarding blush because I am a blush hoarder. Between foundation and blush, in all of my makeup collection, between foundation and blush, I probably own those two items the most. I have so many blushes, so many blushes, it's not even funny. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share a tiny fraction of the blushes that I own that are good for darker skin tones, and maybe some tan, like, you know, a darker tan skin tone to a much deeper skin tone. I'm probably going to wind up doing this video in 2 parts or maybe even 3 parts because as of right now, I believe it is, yeah, it's 11:32 at night, and I kind of don't want to be sitting up here doing this the whole night because it's a lot. Also, I am going to put timestamps in the description box so that you can check out what colors you want to. I'm not going to do like a whole range of colors. I'm most likely just going to stick to colors that are more suitable, or, well, I'll probably wind up doing a bunch of colors, but I'm gonna stick to colors that are very suitable for medium dark to dark skin tones. And here's a caveat to that. The caveat to that is deeper blushes, like really pigmented blushes, literally anyone can use those. If you're very fair skinned, you can still use a very deep or a very pigmented blush. You just have to go in with a very light hand. Unfortunately, the same is not true for less pigmented or lighter blushes. So I understand where women of color might have some problems deciding which blushes to choose. Even if they look pigmented, sometimes they're not pigmented. And honestly, a lot of the comments in the section were like kind of pissy because usually when a blush is marketed to a darker skinned woman, it's usually something in the, you know, berry tone families, and that's kind of why I started buying so many blushes and experimenting with so many different colors, because I was seriously dead tired of all of these companies telling me that I could only wear like a berry shade of blush. I was like, nah, chill, that's not the move. So I went out and I explored, and I realized that there are so many shades that I can wear. The only shade that I truly cannot wear is a peach, and sometimes I can wear a peach shade of blush if there's no gold in it. If there's a gold at the base of the peach blush, then I definitely can't wear it. So like NARS Orgasm, can't wear that because it has a gold at the base. But there are other peach blushes that I've been able to wear, but usually they're European company blushes because European peaches tend to have brown at the base, whereas American peach blushes tend to have a gold at the base. So yeah, the blushes that I do tend to wear that are peach tend to be from European companies. But in any case, none of the blushes that I'm going to be showing you guys today are going to be in the berry family because, like every other black chick out here, I'm kind of tired of that. Don't tell me that's what I need to wear. I will choose my blush myself, and Cleo is here to help you with that. So, I didn't know exactly how to order it, so I figured I would divide it into colors. There are a lot of pinks, but they're varying shades of pink, if that makes sense. Like, there are some hot pinks, there are some deep pinks, there are some pinky oranges, there's some coral pinks, and one of the big things about me is that I don't like I like buildable blushes. I prefer blushes that I can build on because I have a tendency when I get like overheated or worked up, my cheeks tend to turn red. Trust me, when I figured that out, it was just like, oh, okay. So I like something that I can layer on for the desired intensity. So most of the blushes that I have here are layerable blushes. A lot of them actually look like nothing in the pan, but then when you apply them, they're like, whoa. A couple of them actually are like that. What else? So you guys know how I'm like never prepared for anything, like I don't know prices and stuff like that. I'm prepared today. So I didn't know how to really order everything. I figured that I didn't know if I should do creams first or if I should do in terms of color. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to go in, I think I'm going to go, in color order, if that makes sense. Like I'm going to go in intensity. So I'll start off with maybe some neutrals and then we'll take it from there. So yeah, so if you want to see that, stick around. Once again, I'm going to put timestamps in the bottom because it's a lot. I own a lot of blush, so there will be timestamps in the bottom. But yeah, let's jump into this. Okay, so like I said, I'm not doing it based on price. I'm doing it based on, like, you know, intensity. So the first blush that I have is this City Color Be Matte blush, and this is in the color Blackberry. These are $3.99. You can get them from the City Color website or iCade House, I believe. Pretty much anywhere, like, you know, like drugstore makeup is sold, I'm pretty sure you can get this. You can't get all of the colors. I actually got this from iCade House. No, I got this from Beauty Joint, actually. Yeah, I got these from Beauty Joint. BeautyJoint.com does sell a lot of drugstore stuff that you can't find in the drugstore. Like, you know, drugstore brands like City Color, but they're not actually in a drugstore. Yeah, they do sell they do sell a lot of, man, it's 11:30, all right? It's 11:30. Okay, so this is what this one looks like. And this is also a buildable blush. Here's a swatch. This is for somebody like, you know, my complexion are a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit darker, but it is buildable. It goes on like that, and you can actually build on the color. This, yeah, see? This formula is a little bit dusty. That's the only thing that I don't particularly care for with that. It is a little bit dusty, and it can look a little bit cakey if you build it up too much, but for the most part, the more you build up, the more color you get. And that's what it looks like. This is a very nudie pink. It has a brown base. I put my hair back because for whatever reason tonight I am super hot. I don't know what is happening with me. Okay, next one is this Makeup Revolution the matte blush powder in the color Fusion. This is also a kind of a brownish orange nude. These colors are, City Color blushes are, not City Color, Makeup Revolution powder blushes are interesting because they don't really look like much in the pan, but they are so soft and they are so buildable. But yeah, that's what this one looks like. This is actually more of like a coral pink nude. And that's probably the only problem that I have with them, is that you're not quite sure what color you're going to get out of the pan, because they look like one thing in the pan and they don't exactly swatch or go on it that way. This one is $5 and you can get this one at Ulta. So like, I don't have a whole lot of nude blushes. Like, I thought I had more, but apparently I really don't, so that's weird. The other nude blush that I have, that I'm not going to show you guys because it's like, it's too expensive. Nobody should buy that, so I'm not going to show it to you. However, I do have this one. This one is from Lord & Berry. It's a Lord & Berry blush, powder blush in Sunkissed. It looks like this. And once again, very, like I said, I am a fan of buildable blushes, so pretty much all my blushes are buildable. It looks like this. And it applies like that. And it's very, very buildable. It's very finely milled. And it has an orange base to it, a brownish orange base. It's like a terracotta nude. And it doesn't look this white, or it doesn't look this powdery when you put it on. It works with your skin, and it adapts, and it's just a really, really pretty color to bring, you know, like a slight flush to the cheeks. Nothing huge. And it is $29. Okay, so for those of you that like cream blushes, I do have a couple of those. This is a nude one from Makeup Atelier Paris. Yeah, and this is in the shade Ambering Rose. It is a mauvey rose with a brown undertone. I think I had spoken about this brand before, and I told you that this is one of the few products that I like from that brand. I am, generally speaking, not a fan. I find their products to be really kind of gross, but these cream blushes are absolutely beautiful. And trust me, it doesn't look this white on the skin. Once you buff it in, it starts to adapt to your skin tone, and as you can see, it looks a little bit more pink. This is really, I don't know how well this would play on someone with much deeper skin. For me, it's a very everyday kind of nude, but I don't know how well it would play with someone with deeper skin. And these are $19, and this is Ambering Rose from Makeup Atelier Paris. You can find this at Beautylish. That's the only place I know to buy it in the States, is at Beautylish. Oh, I also have a couple of palettes to show you, but I'm gonna keep those until the end. Yeah, I'm gonna keep those until the end. But yeah, I do have a couple of palettes to show you as well. Now, those are all the nudes that I had. So I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should show you the pinks next, or I should show you the colors that kind of straddle the line. Yeah, I think I'm just going to show you the colors that straddle the line. Like, for real, people sleep on Sephora brand, but Sephora brand blushes are some of the best blushes that I've ever used in my life. I have quite a few of these single blushes, the single powder blushes. They are super pigmented, like, oh my god, like, you have to go in with a very light hand. I bought this because this is the color Hot Flush, by the way, number 13. These are $14, I believe. Let me make sure. Yeah, these are $14. I don't use this blush at all, not ever. I bought this because I was like super intrigued by it, and it turns out to be a little bit too warm for me, but it's such a beautiful color. And these are like dumb pigmented. You have no idea. That's what that looks like. Here's a swatch. Yeah. Hot Flush, ladies and gentlemen. And this is, you know, this is perfect for anyone of just about any skin tone. As you can see, this is a peach. I can actually wear this because Sephora is a European brand, so the peach base on this is brown rather than gold. So I don't have any trouble with it showing up. It's just way, way too warm for me. Yeah, this one, just about anyone of any skin tone can wear this. You just have to go in with a very light hand, but hell, even I have to go in with a very light hand with this because it's seriously that pigmented. So you know I had to mess up somewhere, right? Of course, because I wouldn't be myself if I didn't. But this is another cream. This isn't necessarily a blush. This is one of the MAC casual colors. I think these are multi-use products, but I've only ever used them as blushes. This is another one that I can't wear because it's just a little bit too warm for me. But this is in the color Keep It Casual, and it is a pinky red. It's super pretty, but I literally cannot wear this because it's too warm for me. And when I said I messed up because this is the only one that I didn't find out how much the price was. I have a couple of these, actually. Yeah, I have about 4 of these, and I have 2 of this shade because someone gave me one and I had already gotten this one for myself. But this is what the color looks like. They are super buildable. Like, you can use these as pigmented or as sheer as you would like. But yeah, this is another one that just about anyone of any skin tone can wear, but it looks really, really good on darker skin tones, especially, you know, like a dark tan or even darker than that. I love that they're very pigmented. That's one of the things that I really liked about MAC. MAC was always looking out for brown girls, and they haven't stopped. Since I have less of these, I'm gonna go in, and since because we were already straddling the orange line or whatever, I'm going to go in to the orange blushes that I have. The orange and orange family blushes that I have. So we're gonna do some oranges, and then we're gonna do some corals. Yeah. Let's do that. Again, I have another Sephora blush. This is, oh my gosh, you know, Sephora powder blush. This is $14. This is a very vibrant red orange. That's what that looks like. It kind of looks like NARS Exhibit A a little bit, but it has more orange to it, and it's a little bit more cool toned. So I actually prefer this to Exhibit A, because it's much more cool tone and it's a little bit more orange. And as you can see, it's bright as hell. Once again, it's $14, and this is the shade Oh My Gosh from Sephora brand. Okay, so my next 2 orange blushes, or one of them is an orange blush, one is an orange tint, and the other one is an orange blush, are from Benefit, which is a brand that I really don't like. I don't really purchase their products a lot because I feel like if you don't have foundation shades to fit everybody, then you don't, their aesthetic is just very white. Let's just put it out there, and just, that's it. Their aesthetic is very white, and I just don't feel the need to support them. But I do like their tints. Over the years, I've had a couple of them. I have a Lolly tint, and I've had a couple. I have a Bennett tint also, and so this past December, who was it? Ulta was having a buy 3 get 1 free on their I think their travel size products, and so I got 3 of the tints. I got Go-Go tint, Cha-Cha tint, and Positint. I threw in a California blush, which I wasn't expecting it to really work for me because, like I said, it is a peach. However, this peach, for whatever reason, does not have a it doesn't have a gold base, and it actually shows up on me. So I was like dumb surprised by that. I think part of the reason it showed up on me too is because it's kind of cool toned, and this is also quite buildable. It is a corally orange, but I was really surprised by this. This is a very buildable blush, but I don't know just how it put it this way. It actually shows up very brightly on me if I overdo it. Yeah, this is what it looks like. It's very cool toned, but it's also like, it doesn't look anything like it looks in the pan. In the pan it looks quite warm, but on me it's very, very cool toned, which is good for me, because then it doesn't overwhelm my complexion that much. And it's quite buildable, and I actually really like it. I was surprised. I didn't expect to like it. I don't know how well it would show up on someone darker, but I guess I'll find out this summer because I plan to wear it. Like I was saying about their tints, I love their tints, but I have to be very careful when I use their tints because you know, it's Benefit, and they make things for people who are predominantly very, very light. So I have a tendency to go ham when I use their products, and I found out that with the tints you don't really need to do that, because they will freaking show up. So what wind up, and it kind of works with your body chemistry where it makes the color, for me anyway, it makes the color brighter. Like the longer I wear it, the more color I get, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, put it this way, I'll put on one of the tints, and 5 minutes later it'll be too much because I applied too much, because I put it on at first and it didn't look like anything, so I applied more, didn't look like anything, and so I applied more, and then 5 minutes later I'm looking like a clown. So I tend to go in very lightly with them, but Cha-Cha Tint is their orange tint, and I think this would look very gorgeous on just about anyone my complexion or a little bit darker. And I kind of stick to the mini sizes because I don't use them that often. So this is what it looks like, and trust me, this is not the color that you get. Do this, you let it sit for a little bit, and then you would dab it off with something. As you can see the color changing on my arm as you look, right? And then you could just dab it off, and that's what you're left with. And if you need to build it up, you can put more and it will just get stronger. And like I said, when I first put it on, I always do way too much and wind up looking like a clown. So use these as a very, very light hand. Oh, and they don't come off easily, like at all. Yeah. That swatch is probably going to be on my arm for another couple of days. Probably should have did that one last. Hindsight is 20/20. Doing oranges into reds and then pinks, right? That's what we said we were doing? Okay, yeah. So this has to be my favorite orange blush ever. It's from Cargo. As you can see, it is well beat up because I've had this forever. This is Cargo's Laguna powder blush. I'm pretty sure they still make it, but it is a cool toned orange. It looks like that. Swatches like that. And this is another formula that's very buildable and very finely milled and frickin' lasts all day. These are $25. I didn't research this because I wasn't planning on adding it to the list because I just wasn't, but it was sitting right here, so I figured why not. And this is a very natural looking blush. Orange apricots tend to look very natural on me, so yeah, this is one of my favorite blushes. I believe this is 26. Yeah, this is 26. You can get it at Cargo Cosmetics. You can also find these at All Wholesale Cosmetics. Wait, what? No, All Cosmetics Wholesale. You can find this at All Cosmetics Wholesale, and they usually have it for cheaper. But this one is Laguna. Once again, it's a beautiful cool tone orange blush. Okay guys, I have one more orange coral for you, and then I'm calling it quits for the night. And this is another Makeup Revolution powder blush in New Rules that you can also find at Ulta. It is, once again, $5. This is what it looks like. Let me just swatch it for you real quick. It is a pinky coral, a very bright pinky coral, by the way, and it looks like that. But you know, it's not as scary as it looks, because it does look quite scary, but trust me, it's not. And it is a beautiful blush, layers really, really well, builds very, very well, and for $5, man, yeah. Once again, this is called New Rules. You can find it at Ulta, and it is $5 from Makeup Revolution, and you guys know I love my Makeup Revolution. So yeah, this is the business.